as ordinary till you see the core side of it.
And what you're looking for is the story behind the news.
We bring it to you from Lagos, the commercial capital of Nigeria.
Giving you all sides and political stories round the clock.
Every detail from the start line to the final whistle.
CoreTV News, expanding your view.
Hello, good evening, and thank you for joining us on CoreTV Primetime News. I am Ebulomo Adekunle. In a major story, the federal government drags Coca-Cola and its chief executive before a federal high court in Abuja for alleged breach of the Consumer Protection Council Act. Also in this program, Germany, France tasked INEC on credible general elections in 2015. Nigeria Labour Congress seeks clarification of National Assembly for the removal of wages and labor issues from the exclusive legislative list. And outside Nigeria, prosecutors set to appeal against guilty verdict on Oscar Pistorius over murder of Rivers Camp. Now the details. The federal government has dragged the Nigerian bottling company NBC Limited bottlers of Coca-Cola and its chief executive before a federal high court in Abuja for alleged breach of the Consumer Protection Council Act. The charges were filed on behalf of the government by the Attorney General of the Federation, Mohammed Adoke, while a one-count charge was preferred against NBC and its managing director. A two-count charge was slammed on Coca-Cola Nigeria Limited and its chief executive. The two criminal cases have been listed before Justice Evo Chukwu of the Federal High Court in Abuja, but a date has yet to be fixed for the hearing of the cases. The two executives of the companies are liable to jail terms ranging from 3 to 5 years if found guilty. France and Germany have called on the Independent National Electoral Commission to defend Nigeria's honor by presiding over credible elections in 2015. The French Minister of Foreign Affairs, Laurent Fabius, gave the advice when he and his German counterpart, Frank Steinmeier, led a delegation on a courtesy visit on INEC chairman Atahiru Jega in Abuja. They pledged financial support from the European Union for the process and sought assurances from INEC that the current security challenge would not hamper elections in affected states. Responding, INEC chairman said the commission was working closely with security agencies and expressed hope that before the 2015 general elections, tremendous success would have been achieved to ensure that the exercise is peaceful and credible throughout the country. The Ogun State chapter of the Labour Party has debunked widespread speculation that it would not field candidates for the general elections in the state come 2015. Olajumoke Olatuji was at the party's rally in Abeokuta, where it endorsed the candidates who have been given the party's ticket. The report.
Supporters came out in their large number to rejoice over what they say is victory of the leadership of the party over former governor of the state, Linga Daniel, who last week defected to People's Democratic Party. He also expressed full support for President Goodluck Jonathan.
In the amalgamation of those political prostitutes last week, some people Labour Party has fused into PDP. Their leader said we will not contest the election. They said they have put us in their pocket. We stand to correct this nonsense that Labour Party will not run for election. We will contest governorship election. We are going to contest the deputy governor. We are going to contest for the 3 senatorial districts. We are going to contest for the 9 House of Rep, and we are going to contest for the 26-member House of Assembly. We refuse to be intimidated by anybody.
The rally also witnessed the presentation of the party's candidate for next year's governorship election and Ogun Central Senatorial District.
There have been rumor that the party had merged with PDP. We are using this medium and this forum to dispel that the Labour Party did not merge with any party. As you can see, all the structures are intact, all the leaders are intact. That is the purpose of this gathering, so that we can show the public and show all our supporters all around the world that the Labour Party is still intact. That's the idea.
Labour Party is the only party that has no faction in Ogun State as we speak. All of us, we have closed ranks. Those who didn't share our ideology have left. Many that were deceived into leaving are coming back. Many have come back, many are coming back. And what we are doing differently is that we are linked with the people.
Chairman of the party, Bode Simeon, described the defection of Daniel to the PDP as good riddance.
We really thank God today that OGD has defected from this party. We have built our party on a solid rock already, and we are the one that invited OGD into this party. Unfortunately, he came to this party and they wanted to destroy the party. We thank God today that we fought the battle and God allowed us to win the battle. So defection of OGD from Labour Party doesn't have any effect at all on Labour Party, rather than we are gaining more people into Labour Party.
The Ogun State Labour Party says it is sure of victory come 2015. Olajumoke Olatunji, CoreTV News, Abeokuta.
The People's Democratic Party in Lagos says all is set ahead the 2015 general elections, particularly the governorship poll in the state. Oluwaseyi Adegoke witnessed a flurry of activities at the party secretariat in Lagos and brought back this report.
The race for the Lagos State Government House come 2015 is increasing by the day across party lines. The People's Democratic Party says it is ready for the election at all levels.
I'm not surprised. A lot of quality, well-educated people who can make things happen in politics have chosen to join PDP. In the same vein, the aspirants are quality aspirants from House of Assembly to that of the House of Representatives to the Senate, and of course the governorship. There is a power tussle, and we are happy it's like that.
Nearly all the constituency, federal constituency, all the state assembly constituency too, people have been coming from different parts of the states. Although we still have some few local government that nobody has showed up, but most of the local government, a lot of people have really turned up and purchased our forms.
One of the party's aspirants for the House of Representatives, Shodunke Oludoto, who came for his nomination form at the PDP Secretariat, speaks on the preparation.
We are sensitizing our people on the importance of having a change this year, especially in Lagos. You know, we through the People's Democratic Party, a party that offers quality, we are going to offer a quality governance in Lagos, as it were, and very transparent one. And the sensitization is just everywhere.
PDP have prepared well for 2015 election. We are prepared well. We have a lot of plans for the Lagos, and also about the primary. You know, PDP is a democratic party in which we give all aspirants playing level ground for everybody to participate in the primary. And inshallah, by God's grace, anybody we present shall win the government in 2015 by God's grace.
The party says positive change is the key point on the PDP's agenda for the 2015 general elections. Oluwaseyi Adegoke, CoreTV News, Lagos.
A coalition of youth groups from Nasarawa State on Monday picked the PDP nomination form for former Information Minister Labaran Maku to seek the party's ticket for next year's election. The groups were led by the leadership of the state chapter of the National Youth Council of Nigeria, who claimed that the youths mobilized funds to buy the form. They also insisted that Maku has the backing of all youth groups in the state.
Having endorsed him in life here some months ago, we have come together and agreed that we must source for funds to come and pick the form for him in Abuja here, so that we will make sure that he wins the election come 2015 general election for next year general election. So we will do our best and keep on campaigning for him, door-to-door campaign, as long as media campaign too, because it is well known that he is the most credible candidate in the entire state. We've gone and did a thorough research among all the contestants. And what we see is that Labaran Maku, being a politician right from the university level, he has done a wonderful work, a credible work. He has been a union leader, he has been a commissioner in the state, he has become a deputy governor. Now he has just resigned as a Minister of Information, and we have seen that in all these offices he has held, he has done the most credible work in which nobody in the state will do it ever. And we are sure that if he comes as the governor of the state, he will do the best of the best.
It's only a few weeks after Bala Ngilari was sworn in as Adamawa State governor, but there are indications that he's keen on running for the gubernatorial seat on the platform of the People's Democratic Party. This was after a group of indigenes of the state turned up at the PDP National Secretariat in Abuja to pick a nomination form on his behalf. Members of the amalgamation of non-partisan group insisted that it is the wish of the people for Governor Ngilari to contest in 2015.
This is the first time in the political history of Adamawa State that a group will pick a party nomination form for any aspirant. But members of the group who described themselves as non-partisan say they are keen on making sure that Governor Ngilari contests for the governorship seat in 2015. Which is why they say they mobilized to come down to Abuja to obtain PDP's governorship nomination form on his behalf.
I don't know for how long, but we promise you that Bala James Ngilari will give the appropriate leadership and Adamawa will be won landslide.
The leadership of the group said at a press briefing shortly after collecting the form that they are not in support of the zoning formula currently making the rounds in Adamawa State.
Everybody in Adamawa knew Bala was from the northern zone. Nobody said anything for the past 8 years. During the time of impeachment, there were things that took place that necessitated Bala to leave office. But Providence has made it now that he is the governor. And he has been deputy governor for 8 years. There's no reason why this man should not be given the opportunity to rule this state.
They acknowledged that the newly installed governor had been given the option to contest for the senatorial seat and not the governorship. But this pro-Ngilari group say they will compel him to seek the PDP's governorship ticket.
It was being speculated, and he did carry a senatorial form. But we, as the people of Adamawa State, as can be seen by this representation, have decided that it is the governorship position that Bala should go for.
We are here having been convinced that the governor has the right to contest the gubernatorial election, and nobody should set standards or otherwise.
They say over 12 groups contributed the money used in obtaining the nomination form for Bala Ngilari, but there is still no independent confirmation of the governor's interest in the 2015 elections. And now that it's only a few weeks to the party primaries, it remains to be seen how the party leaders will respond to the clamor by this group for Nglari to seek to extend his stay in the Adamawa State House. Pius Samuel, CoreTV News, Abuja.
Meanwhile, residents of Adamawa State have been called upon to work together in ensuring lasting peace in the state. The call was made by the state's governor, Balangalari, while addressing a representative of the Adamawa State chapter of the Muslim Council of Nigeria and the Christian Association of Nigeria.
Local government elections should still remain the preserve of a state government, you know. But to say we should saddle INEC with conduct of local government elections in states, I think it would be too much.
He reiterated the need for the people to unite irrespective of tribe and religion and promised to be fair to all without prejudice.
That's not my business, you know. That has been the lot of the past regime. People will simply set aside even viable projects and say they must start their own. I think that is not the essence of government. So by and large, you can trust that we will be on the same page.
Nigeria Labour Congress seeks clarification of National Assembly on the removal of wages and labour issues from the exclusive legislative list. Join us for details after this timeout. Don't go away.
I no longer worry about deodorant stains with Nivea Invisible for black and white deodorant. No white marks on black and no yellow stains on white. My black stays black and white stays white longer. And I stay 48 hours protected. New Invisible for black and white deodorant from Nivea.
Also available, Nivea Men Invisible for black and white deodorant from Nivea Men.
It's still the CoreTV Primetime News, and here is a quick reminder of our major stories. The federal government drags Coca-Cola and its chief executive before Federal High Court in Abuja for alleged breach of the Consumer Protection Council Act. Germany, France tasked INEC on credible general elections in 2015. Nigeria Labour Congress seeks clarification of National Assembly on the removal of wages and labour issues from the exclusive legislative list. You can also reach us on our social media platform on Facebook. Facebook.com/CoreTV News. On Twitter at CoreTV News NG. And on YouTube, youtube.com/CoreTV, leave a space, then news. The Nigeria Labour Congress has mandated its leadership to meet with the Senate and the House of Representatives with a view to clarifying their stance on the removal of wages and labour issues from the exclusive legislative list. This was one of the decisions reached at a National Executive Council meeting in Abuja. Organized Labour also vowed to fight any attempt by political office holders to trample on the rights of the Nigerian workers.
In spite of denials by some officers of the National Assembly to the contrary, NEC directed its members to commence immediate mobilization of members, including visiting their respective representatives in the state houses of assembly and the National Assembly to demand their input in maintaining the status quo of labor on the exclusive list. The NEC in session mandated the leadership of Congress to meet with the leadership of the Senate to ascertain the veracity of, or otherwise of the claim that it is leading the crusade for the deregulation of wages in the country on one hand, and on the other, to meet the leadership of the House of Representatives for the assurances that it has not relinquished its honorable pledge to retain wages on the exclusive list on the other hand. The NEC warned that it will work against the interests of any seeker of political office who chooses to trample on the rights of Nigerian workers.
The Lagos University Teaching Hospital has declared its readiness to carry out kidney transplant following a recent success recorded. Anita Fatuji was at the hospital to verify the success story and brought back this report.
Chronic kidney disease is a progressive loss in renal failure over a period of months or years. The symptoms of worsening kidney functions are non-specific and might include feeling generally unwell and experiencing a reduced appetite. A medical expert, Oluwatoyin Amira, says about 10% of Nigerians have chronic kidney disease.
When we're talking about chronic kidney disease, there are different stages. What the public knows out there is what we call stage 5, when the patient has end-stage renal disease and has to be on some form of supportive therapy, either dialysis or transplantation. But that is the tip of the iceberg.
She, however, admonished Nigerians to cultivate the habit of routine medical checkup.
Once or twice a year it's not too much. And these tests are very, very simple. Your urine check, blood sugar, blood pressure, and blood test. But be that as it may, as the disease advances, the patient, the individual could notice ill health, feeling unwell, swelling of the legs, swelling of the face when he wakes up in the morning.
Some recuperating patients also share their experiences.
When he started, I thought it was typhoid and malaria, so I was treating typhoid and malaria, but at the time I have to go for test. So after the test, when the result came out, my kidney is bad. So I was directed to
try as much as possible to go to the clinic, and one thing is that we should try, whatever we're doing, that we should try and make sure we look at ourselves, we take cognizance of what is happening to us.
There have been increased calls for government at all levels to set up a health insurance scheme for patients as a result of the huge treatment costs associated with the disease. Anita Fatunji, CoreTV News, Lagos.
Meanwhile, in a bid to forestall further outbreak of infectious diseases, including Ebola in Lagos, Governor Babatunde Fashola has appointed Adekemi Shekoni as a scientific advisor. Abiola Oluwole was at the inauguration. His report is presented from our studio.
In spite of the Ebola-free status given to Nigeria by the World Health Organization, Lagos is putting everything in place to avert another outbreak of infectious disease in the state. These were the words of Governor Fashola after the appointment of Adekemi Shekoni as a scientific advisor. Fashola says, considering the fact that Ebola will not be the last infectious disease that will threaten human existence, the role of the scientific advisor is to guide government on scientific related research that will add value to public health.
And that's why we found a scientist who has done some work in epidemiology, in public health, because public health issues are the biggest issues in urban centers today. So when we're talking about noise pollution, reduce horn as a first step, it's all about public health, reducing deafness, reducing stress. So what should we do, assuming that we get reinfected? These are many more questions which we must find credible answers to and develop well thought out plans ahead of today.
Shekoni promised to ensure structure that will further tame the outbreak of infectious diseases in Lagos.
We want to see how we can maximally use evidence that has been gathered from research in moving the state forward, in preparing for emergencies, including disease outbreaks, and other issues that can affect the well-being of Lagosians as a whole.
Shekoni is a lecturer in epidemiology at the Lagos University Teaching Hospital, Idiaraba.
We'll take another break now and return with business, sports, and stories outside Nigeria. Don't go away.
There is an Ebola virus epidemic in some West African countries. The Nigerian government wants you to be aware and watch out against the spread of Ebola in your community. Help keep our country safe and watch out for severe cases of fever, headaches, diarrhea, chest and abdominal pain, sore throat, cough, red eyes, and bleeding from the eyes, ears, and nose, especially when these symptoms are found in persons coming into Nigeria from other West African countries. Protect yourself. Wash your hands regularly with soap and running water, or use a hand sanitizer. Avoid contact with the blood, urine, feces, or saliva of animals like bats, monkeys, gorillas, chimpanzees, or infected persons. The Ebola virus is deadly. Don't catch it. Don't spread it. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
You can now watch CoreTV News live from anywhere in the world on our website, www.coretvnews.com. Click on Live TV on our website and watch us live.
And welcome to CoreTV Primetime Days.
To follow us on Twitter, click on Twitter icon on our website. On Facebook, click on the Facebook and YouTube to see all our previous news production. You can also watch us live on YouTube. Click CoreTV, leave a space, then News. CoreTV News, a 24-hour news station.
And now to business news. The chairman of the Nigerian Electricity Regulatory Commission, NERC, on Monday says fixed charges on electricity would remain without constituting any problem to the consumers. According to the chairman of the NERC, Dr. Sam Amadi, the concerns of most consumers is not about fixed charges, but the unreliability of power supply. But consumers feel differently. They say they feel cheated as the supply of electricity is inefficient. Amadi says they will ensure the payment of fixed charge does not become an encouragement for distribution companies to neglect diligence and efficiency in managing their networks. The fixed charge is not an anomaly. It is the usual practice, which includes the fixed costs that operators incur for serving consumers. The fixed charge on electricity includes the cost of installation and maintenance of transformers, electric meters, and cables. It would be recalled that the federal government on the 23rd of September announced a 213 billion naira intervention fund for the power sector, but there's been much delays, which Amadi attributed to the transnational electricity market, which was expected to begin before the end of the year. The Nigerian Ports Authority, NPA, says on Monday it is expecting 41 ships to sail into the ports from October 27th to November 27th. The NPA made this available in shipping position publication today in Lagos. It says 10 ships containing petroleum products have arrived at the Lagos ports and are waiting to berth. 5 of the ships are laden with petrol, 4 with kerosene, and 1 with bulk gas. The other 4 containing rice, buckwheat, are waiting to berth too. However, 16 would arrive with containers, while 12 others would sail in with food items such as frozen fish, bulk sugar, bulk salt, and crude palm oil. 7 ships will bring in general cargoes, while 3 other ships would bring in vehicles, trucks, and tractors. The remaining 3 ships are to sail in with petroleum products, which includes petrol and base oil. All ships will sail into the new oil jetty, the Atlas Cove jetty, and the Fishery Wharf. Equity transactions on the floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange on Monday ended on a negative note. The all-share index dipped by 0.93% to close at 38,724.15 basis points. Market capitalization decreased and closes in the same manner at 12.82 trillion naira. In all, a total of 241.69 million shares valued at 3.87 billion naira were exchanged in 4,434 deals. Report shows that 7-Up topped the gainers chart, followed by PZ, ETI, Zenith Bank, and May Baker. On the downside, Seplat Oil topped the losers chart, followed by Nestle, Mobil, Total, and Guinness. Meanwhile, here are the top 5 trades. And now to sports. The World Football Governing Body, FIFA, has given Nigeria a deadline to avoid suspension from international football. Confederation of African Football President Issa Hayatou has warned that Nigeria is in danger of being banned by FIFA after a court sacked the recently elected Nigeria Football Federation Executive Committee. Indeed, it was explained that the Super Falcons were allowed to play the AWC final match against Cameroon on Saturday after a plea was made to FIFA executives led by Sepp Blatter. Last Thursday, the Federal High Court, sitting in Jos, gave a ruling setting aside the NFF elections of September 30 in Warri, which had ushered in the new executives. The court's ruling has angered FIFA officials who had warned that the country would be banned if there were any further interference from any civil court on purely football matters. FIFA has warned that if Nigeria gets suspended, they will not revisit the matter until their 65th Congress on May 29, 2015. The Nigeria Football Federation has said that the Super Eagles will train in Warri, Delta State ahead of the 2015 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Congo in Port Noir. General Secretary of the Nigeria Football Federation, Musa Amadu, dropped this hint while meeting with the team's technical crew and support staff inside Abuja. Nigeria are billed to confront Congo on the 15th of November in Port Noir in a must-win game that will be played on an artificial pitch. The Super Eagles need to beat Congo with a clear 2-goal margin or get a higher score line of victory than Congo 3-2 win in Calabar to be ahead of the Red Devils in Group A after the November 15 clash. With 4 points, Nigeria behind leaders South Africa, who have 9 points, and Congo with 7 points, but ahead of Sudan going into the final round of the qualifiers. Nigeria's #1 citizen, President Goodluck Jonathan, will receive the victorious African women champions Super Falcons at the Federal Executive Council meeting on Wednesday. The sports minister, Tammy Denagogo, who left Nigeria on Friday for Namibia, dropped the hint when he met with the Super Falcons before they beat the Lionesses of Cameroon 2-0 in the final of the African Women Championship. According to the minister, a proposal has been sent to Mr. President to receive the team at the FEC meeting on Wednesday, noting that he's quite sure Mr. President will be looking forward to meet the Falcons on their return as he praised the girls for doing Nigeria proud in Namibia. Mauritius have become the second F1 team to be placed in administration within days, leaving up to 200 jobs at risk. Administrators FRP advisory said the Banbury-based team would continue to operate, but had already withdrawn from the forthcoming U.S. Grand Prix. Caterham, also based in Oxfordshire, was put in administration on Friday and will miss the U.S. and Brazilian races. Marussia driver Jules Bianchi remains in hospital following a crash at the Japanese Grand Prix on 5th October. Bianchi sustained serious head injuries when his car was in collision with a tractor recovery vehicle. And now, outside Nigeria, South African prosecutors say they are going to appeal against the conviction and sentence given to athlete Oscar Pistorius for killing his girlfriend. Last week, Pistorius began serving a 5-year prison sentence for culpable homicide of River Steenkamp, although he could be out in 10 months. The double amputee Olympic sprinter was cleared of murder. The appeal on conviction is based on the question of law, according to the national prosecuting spokesman. Pistorius' family have said that he will not appeal. The athlete was also given a 3-year suspended sentence for firing a gun in a restaurant. The prosecutors are now preparing the necessary papers in order to be able to file within the next few days, saying Nathi Nkube from the National Prosecuting Authority in a statement. And just before we close the show, here is a wrap-up of the stories that made our headlines. We told you that the federal government has dragged Coca-Cola and its chief executive before the Federal High Court in Abuja for alleged breach of the Consumer Protection Council Act. We also brought you a report that Germany and France have taxed INEC on credible general elections in 2015. Lastly, Nigeria Labour Congress is seeking clarification of the National Assembly on the removal of wages and labour issues from the exclusive legislative list. That's been the show tonight, and on behalf of our entire news crew, I am Ebulomo Adekunle wishing you a wonderful night rest.